ugly.
Five. Who are the best and who are the worst NFL teams? It's Mike Gill's Fine Five and Ugly Five on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey's football station.
These are the 5 best and 5 worst as voted on by us.
In doing my research for this segment, yes, I did research and I prepared. I hadn't done
He
this.
says that caveat because that is rare.
I hadn't done this since the preseason. I must have worked a Wednesday before the season started.
Okay.
I had the Giants as one of my Fine Five teams. Okay.
Good grief.
Hindsight is 2020.
Okay, Ugly 5, number 5, Pete Thompson.
Arizona, 3-4 record, a brief flash of success when Adrian Peterson showed up. No Carson Palmer now. They still miss David Johnson. Quarterback Drew, does that scare anybody? What's that, Stanton, right?
Drew Stanton, yes.
They should beat the Niners this week, but after that, only the Giants that I mentioned a minute ago in Week 16 look like a W to me. Thank you, Josh. So Arizona, 5 in the Ugly 5.
By the way, if you're wondering, Drew Stanton's back at Michigan State with Brian Hoyer.
A lot of Michigan State quarterbacks lingering around the league. Nick
Yeah,
Foles.
A little too many. My number 5 team is the Bears. I had the Cards in last week, but the way the Bears lost that game this past week, it bumps them into the 5 spot instead of the Cardinals. At least the Cardinals have some talent still on the roster. I feel like the Bears, the longer I've seen them this season, the more I realize this team literally was acquired for a bag of balls.
Should they get sunlight?
That was exactly what I was thinking. Put them out in the sun.
I got Tampa Bay, number 5. This was a team that had high expectations. They're terrible on defense. Winston, I am disappointed in. They've lost 4 in a row. They lost at home last week by scoring 3. They went out and got talent, and it's not – their roster is more talented than the Bears, yet they're worse than the Bears. They're number 5 in the Ugly 5. Number 4, Josh.
I have the New York Giants, the dysfunction of an organization that has now suspended 2 players in the last few weeks, a head coach that is being basically a jerk to the media week in and week out, and an offense that is so depleted due to injury. The Giants are number 14.
I've got my number 4 is the Indianapolis Colts. They saw that the odds of them losing out, because they measure odds on everything, are the highest on the board. Yes, they're even higher than winless Cleveland or winless San Francisco. Frank Gore, he doesn't know what happened. He woke up and says, this is what I signed up for. Andrew Luck in his shoulder. He might not play this season. Andrew Luck, are you ever going to see him again? Colts.
I've got the Giants, injuries, all sorts of problems on that team. Awful offensive line. We know the story. The Giants, who had high expectations, are number 4 in the Ugly 5. Number 3, Pete Thompson.
Giants, for all the reasons Josh said. OBJ out, Brandon Marshall out, running game doesn't exist. O-line horrible, defense can't get off the field. The New York media circling like buzzards over this rotting team.
My number 3 team is the Colts. They are a minus 104 on the season in point differential. I think that tells you everything you need to know right there.
I would say the Colts, too. And if I were to ask you which team in the league has given up the most points this year, would you say the Colts? Probably not, but it's not even close. They've given up 246 points this year. Easily the worst in the league. The next closest to them
is the 49ers.
The Colts are number 3. Number 2. Do we have to discuss this? Do we both?
No, it's just the way which order they go in. The 2 and the 1 are easy.
That's right.
It's just who's. Yeah.
They're combined 0-16. There's not a lot of discussion to be had here.
But one team got their quarterback, and the other team failed to file the paperwork.
That's
so
right.
The Browns are the worst team in the NFL.
Yep, that's exactly
Did you hear the reason why they didn't get the paperwork in? Apparently they were celebrating the trade. And because they were celebrating for so long, they forgot to put the paperwork in.
I saw something. I saw it
What?
play on the Snickers commercial with that dude. Not going anywhere for a while.
Who are the 5 best teams? We've all got San Francisco 2 and Cleveland 1.
Yes, clarify that. My 5th best team is Minnesota. They lost to a pretty good Steelers team in Pittsburgh, 14-7. They lost at home to the Lions. But I think with Murray, McKinnon, replacing Dalvin Cook. The O-line improved. My one concern is their remaining schedule because they still have the Rams, Lions, Panthers, and Falcons left. But I think that Minnesota right now is my fifth fine team.
I'm going with a team I had in here last week. They still, right now, have the second best point differential in the NFL. It is your Los Angeles Rams with Sean McVay, who abandoned Kirk Cousins, and now Kirk Cousins can't score.
I went with the Saints this week, and the reason I went with the Saints is because they've won 5 in a row, and they're doing it with defense. Typically, when you talk Saints, it's Drew Brees in the offense, but their defense is overshadowing. They've only given up 145 points. To put that into perspective, Philly's defense has given up 156, and they've been pretty good. The Saints have been better on defense, and the Vikings, whose defense is even better, is only given up 135. So the Saints are only 10 behind Minnesota, and I'll take Breeze over Keenum.
Absolutely. Saints defense had nowhere to go but up. My fourth fine team is Pittsburgh. They have looked bad in their 2 losses at Chicago and home with the Jaguars, but when they win, they look really good. They look like the most attractive girl at the party. Big Ben, he can still sling it. That Juju Schuster-Smith opened up my eyes. You have a weapon like that, and Antonio Brown, you make it my fine 5 at number 4.
I agree with Pete. My number 4 team is the Steelers. I like the way they're rolling right now. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. You got to give this team credit. Also, how about this, guys? They're 4-1 on the road. The only other team that's got that good of a mark on the road are Mike's number 5 team, the Saints.
I've got Kansas City at number 4. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City in Kansas City. The Chiefs have been struggling. They did win last week against a Denver team that's got the arrow pointing down. There's something missing from this Chiefs team right now. I've been a big Chiefs guy, but there's something missing from them. I got the number 4 in the fine 5.
The Chiefs actually are my number 3 team, if I could jump in here, because of the fact that despite the fact they lost to the Steelers at home, as of right now, I'm still a little more confident in a Chiefs team at home in the playoffs than I am in a Steelers team at home. I think that Arrowhead home field advantage is big, Pete.
And I have the Chiefs as my number 2 team, but my number 3 team is the New England Patriots because obviously they're going to win the AFC East. It looks like, again, Tom Brady still getting it done. Bill Belichick still the mastermind. But the concerns are that defense and the failure to convert in the red zone. They've been struggling a little bit in the red zone, putting up points. But it's the Patriots, guys. They're on a 4-game winning streak because by hook or by crook, they find a way to get it done. See how I use the word crook there?
I've got Pittsburgh number 3. This is a team that's starting to get more complete by the week, and they're doing it with defense. Defense, my friends, in this league, especially in the second half of the year. Number 2, Pete Thompson.
Kansas City is in my number 2 spot, front runner in the AFC West. A very good candidate still to represent the AFC in the conference championship. Now, their defense is my concern, Mike. It's showing some holes now. But when Alex Smith is rolling and their running game is rolling, Chiefs are tough to stop. Their losses, if you're going to go to their losses and say, well, they lost 2 games. Steelers and Raiders back-to-back. Steelers are in the fine 5 too. Now, the Raiders at that point were a different team. But KC, my number 2, Josh.
Patriots are my number 2 team as of right now. We live in a world where it's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are there.
In a world.
You got to put them high on the list. You know, I know the defense had some issues, but they've kind of turned it around. As of right now, they are my number 2 team.
I'm going Patriots number 2. They're not the same Patriots, but they're still winners of 4 straight. Their defense is all of a sudden starting to play better. We kept talking about their the defense being an issue. Well, all of a sudden that defense is playing better. They've only given up 179. It looked like they were on pace to be one of the worst defensive teams in the league. They've tightened up there. They got Tom Brady. They got Bill Belichick. I don't see any reason why number 2 isn't a good spot for them.
Bill Belichick's the man, and I don't think I'd say that. And, of course, we all agree on the number 1 team. I mean, the number 1 team, come on, right? Who's the best team in the NFL right now?
I don't think there's an argument about that. It's the Eagles, right?
Your Philadelphia Eagles.
That's it. Number 1 at the top of the Fine 5 list, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer brewed to have more taste with only 96 calories. Hold true.